Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. The divisional series are coming up. There's 4 of them. We got to preview them. We got to figure out how we feel so you know how you should feel. Welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Thank you very much for clicking play and hanging out with us today and hearing what Jake has to say about the divisional series. Coming to you live from the Roosevelt Studios in the Bronx, New York City, New York State, United States of America, Earth. Wow. My name's Jimmy. Jake's here. Trev's here. Producer Bug just left because he's got to work on the last episode we did. So he's empty today. Just a blank space where producer BBD usually is. Damn. All right, guys. We're into normal baseball. From here to the World Series, well, actually, no, we're not. We're not. Take it back. Because we don't have off days, so it changes everything. So we'll detail that. But the DS, 5-game DS, 7-game CS, 7-game World Series. We know those numbers and those names. That's all familiar. We got 4 teams set up. It's really cool how it's set up. It's really cool. But first, let me tell you about the patrons that are bringing you this episode. And maybe not even, because I had the tab open and
Roosevelt.
I've lost it.
We're in the Roosevelt studio. All 3 of us are rosied up right now. Trev with the squints tee, Jakey sexuality with my candy/rock shirt, Jomboy with the go-to hoodie.
Has this shirt ever looked as good as it does?
Yours?
Yes, Mookie wore it the other day.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Bang.
Well, okay.
So yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Alex B., Mike Cardane, Liam Cohen, Twan, Paulison, Twan, never seen that name before. Thank you very much. Theo Johnson, Louis Gerhardy, Neil, Dashiell Moss, Mika Ohan. This is the hardest crop. Mika Ohanian. Hardest crop names we've had in a while. Thank you to our most recent patrons for joining. They get to watch live in the chat with us, be part of the conversation, a little pre-production, a little post-production. They get to see it all. Thank you very much. All right, we got 4 games. We're going to put 10 minutes on the clock. Since BBD is working, I will be the clock master. And we're going to go in chronological order, and the ALDS kicks off first. And game 1 goes to the A's and Houston.
Did you start the timer?
Not yet.
Okay, I've got one thing I want to say.
Okay.
Sorry to the teams that lost.
Yeah.
And one of the other things is I like being in people's sports world. I told you guys a couple eps back that someone was talking about like an all-Chicago World Series. That's not looking good. Little shout-out to St. Louis. I mean, their team loses, and then Bob Gibson, R.I.P. So that's a tough, for a baseball city, that was a tough little break. So sorry to St. Louis, and sorry to all the teams that lost, but we're moving on.
Moving on. You have anything, Trev, before we get going?
Not really. I'm excited to talk about it. I was doing some DJ research last night, and how much credit does Derek Jeter actually deserve? So I think we'll get into that a little bit.
You're sick. You're entering like a dark territory.
You're a troll.
I'm really not troll. I am just. We'll talk about it, bro.
You're entering like an area where like you're in your shed, like late night, dimly lit, and it's like, Jeter didn't even get Lewis Brinson. He was there before.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Who has he brought in and who was already there? Because that happened with the Twins.
Yeah.
When the new regime came over.
Right.
I mean, people were giving them credit. I'm like, dude, these guys are already in the system. These guys have no credit for Byron Buxton, Max Kepler, Eddie Rosario, Jose Barrios. You can't take credit for any of those guys.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure people are treated accordingly.
Yeah. It's a mindset, Trev.
Anyway.
It's a winning mindset.
I mean, that's not chronological order.
Not Cron Pod.
Sorry, I know. I said we'll get to it.
3.
No, hold on.
2.
Now, a quick reminder to everyone who may not know, they're going to the bubble. The American League games will be played in San Diego. The National League games will be played in Arlington. I'm still seeing a lot of fans of the Padres and the Dodgers being like, why can't we play at our home stadium? Like, clearly because you'd have home field advantage when no other team gets home field advantage.
Is Houston's playing in San Diego too, or are they playing in L.A.?
Well, I don't know. The American League is in National League stadiums, and
Right.
the National League is in American League stadiums. So
I think
there's
they're
no home field advantage.
playing separate at L.A. and San Diego. Or is that was the plan, right? Then Houston and Dallas. Are we not doing that?
Oh, LA and San Diego.
Yeah.
Houston, Dallas. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know which series in which, but I think the Dodgers
Yankees
are in
are in
Arlington.
San Diego.
Yeah, I know that.
Yankees
and the Dodgers
are in San Diego.
Dodgers are in Arlington. Because if the Dodgers
And the
win,
Braves are in Houston.
if the Dodgers win the DS, the CS, and go to the World Series, they will have spent their entire time in Arlington, which is a little home field
Jimmy's
advantage for
calling
them.
big time bull spit.
So there you go. You know, you get to spend your outfielders are going to be rather comfortable in that outfield if you go to the World Series, and then the American League is going to have to come over, and Kiermaier's not going to know what to do out there.
He'll know what to do.
Yeah, Kiermaier's fine. Corner outfielders more. Anyway, game 1, 10 minutes on the clock. BBD, are you good to be here the rest of the time, or are you bouncing around?
Exporting the video. I'll be in and out a little bit.
All right, so I'll do timer. All right.
I'll keep a timer as well.
All
Double
right.
timer.
Double timer. Game series number 1 is the Houston Astros versus the Oakland A's. One of the 3 that has bad blood from this regular season. These benches emptied. Laureano got hit 3 times. The Cintrone, the batting coach, got 22-game suspension for Astros.
Is he back?
It's got to be, right?
Laureano or the hitting coach?
Hitting coach.
Gosh.
I'd assume so.
I'd assume he's back.
Who cares?
Home.
This is a storyline series. The A's haven't made the playoffs in the last couple years. They've lose to the Astros, who turns out they were cheating in 2017 and possibly and probably cheating in 2018, 2019 to beat them. They're 195 games plus. Now they get to meet up in the ALDS, a 5-game series. I don't know who pitching is favored in here. They're both kind of piecemeal. And both offenses are kind of not clicking on all cylinders, but getting hot. So this series, on the field, I don't know how to wrap my head around it. What do you have, Jake?
I picked the A's in my bracket. Maybe I'll change. Teaser. We'll see. And yeah, Jim, I think there's bad blood, and you didn't mention the name that's got the biggest bad blood technically for everyone. It's Fires. Fires was the whistleblower, and he is on these Oakland A's. So it's gonna be hot. I've been saying it on this podcast for about a calendar year that the A's, the Dodgers fans were mad, Yankees fans were mad at Houston. Oakland should be just as mad at those dudes for cheating them out. So. Yeah, I think we could start with the pitching a little bit. Greinke, I still think, is the number 1 overall in this series. And then the Astros, it's talented question marks. Framber Valdez had a huge year. Jose Urquidy dropped some D on Trev's Minnesota Twins. McCullers is yet to show. You wonder if he maybe finds himself in a Patrick Corbin role where maybe he bullpens in the first game, but he's still lined up for a start. And Christian Javier would be their other guy. You'd like to think Greinke would be 1 in 5 if they need it for them. And then Oakland, part of the reason I kind of liked Oakland was that they get better as the series gets longer, in my opinion. Like, I really like the depth on this team. You can mention their starting pitching. It's, I think it's similar to Houston. I mean, Manaea, Luzardo, Fires. We'll see if Montes can find his way back in. He had a really nice showing the other day. But, this team is the lineup, there's guys that can do it in a lot of different ways. The pitching, there's guys that can do it in a lot of different ways that I think the longer a series goes, that their talent can rise to the top, where they don't have their top-end 1s and 2s that had us scared in the wild card series, and Matty Chapman's out. But I don't know, man. I think this is as intense as it gets, and I think, I do have Oakland going in this series, but, you could talk me either way. Like, if Greinke shoves game 1, I'm going to be like, well, he's a bad man, and if Bregman homers, it all starts coming together. So I'm excited. It's going to be intense, Trev.
I agree. This is probably, I want to really see the Rays Yankees just because I want to watch some misery from you guys. But
Sure.
Just baseball-wise, I think this is probably going to be my favorite series. The storylines are amazing with, like you said, Fires on the A's and what he did and exposing the whole cheating scandal. But it's going to be I think the A's. I mean, the A's are the clear favorite here, just because of the starting pitching depth, the pitching depth in general, and the Astros haven't hit either, man. You know, like I keep saying, like if these guys wake up and start getting back to what they were in 2017, 18, 19, then that's a whole different story. But they haven't done that. Carlos Correa has been pretty good. He's talking a lot of shit. I just think like the whole, like you prefaced it really well. There's a lot of anger, a lot of animosity between these two teams. I was talking to one of the guys on the A's, and I said, please go take out these Astros. He goes, there is not another group of guys who want to beat the Astros more than we do. And he said that to me unprovoked, and I usually would think, yeah, that's bullshit, whatever. But like, you know, this guy in particular wouldn't just say that. You know, he's a nice guy, but he hates. These two teams hate each other. I don't know why the Astros should hate anybody. The Astros should be nice to everybody, but these two teams hate each other.
Well, if they want to hate anyone, I understand the whistleblowing team with Fiers. I don't know if Fiers is going to get to pitch. Bob Melvin has a bit easier because they're not lefty mashers. The Astros kind of, their splits are right down the middle. They're basically the same versus lefties and righties. But if Montes is pitching well, I think Fiers has been bad. You might go.
And I didn't say Bassett the first time through.
Yeah, you might go Bassett, Luzardo. You might go Bassett, Luzardo, Manea, Montes. I don't know.
Montes look good.
Montes look good. I could see him getting the pill.
Jim, I want to tell you something. I Googled ALDS preview.
Mm-hmm.
An ESPN article came up, and there's the Jomboy video of the Astros is right on there. So good for us.
Who wrote it? Who posted the article?
The June Lee article from previous is in like a little bubble in the article.
Yeah, but your logo, our logo, right
That's
there,
cool.
baby.
Well,
We're
thank
doing
you to
it.
whoever wrote that.
The preview article is by Jesse Rogers, who does a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, Fiers is awful against the Astros, like awful. He had a 9.39 ERA and 5 starts last year. They blew him up like pretty bad in that one game. Remember? That might tilt things. I don't know. I don't know if he'll get a start.
I mean, you almost don't. I think you don't want to bring that storyline to.
I don't think. I think that's like bull. I don't know. I don't. But I think unless he demanded it, I don't know if he demands a start. It'd be interesting if he did get a start. Greinke against the Astros, Altuve and Springer just absolutely own him. So that's an interesting matchup if it goes 5 and that's Greinke. Altuve and Springer own Greinke.
No,
no.
Same team.
So they own.
I was like, what?
Why am I saying this? They own whatever. I'm just so caught up in
an A's pitcher.
An A's pitcher, but now I'm out of it, so I don't want to have to go find it again.
Montes, Manaya.
Maybe it was Fiers.
Story
I had the
Ellie.
tab up. I closed the tab. I'm done.
Okay.
Story.
Okay.
That's my research.
I got
Never
you,
seen
Poppy.
you and Ramon Laureano in the same room together.
Yeah. Well,
You
I
have.
have. We actually have.
Yeah, we have pictures.
Oh, that's
of
true.
us.
You guys
Damn
were
it.
the stupid.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
The one time.
Big Ramon Laureano.
Was
fan.
getting some Karen chat comps on the internet yesterday. Hate it. Cocky got blown up, so it makes sense.
Oh,
We didn't talk about the Astros pitching at all. I like what you said there with McCullers. McCullers, he was going to go game 3 if they needed it, so he's locked in and ready.
And he's been hot.
But you need Greinke to be able to go twice in the series, if any pitcher. So maybe McCullers for 2, and then you can have a lot of fun with Urquidy.
He can be your 4 guy, game 4
But
starter.
if you go 4, then he's on a ton of rest. And I don't think that he didn't pitch in the Twin series because they don't trust him. I think they wanted, let's burn the bullpen early and mix and match so McCullers can be our dude in game 3.
You think it's going to be game 2 for him then?
I mean, I have no idea. Because Dusty has a plan. But they could do game 1 and 2, Greinke, McCullers, and then treat games 3 and 4 how they treated the Twins a little bit with piggyback starts and Framber.
Yeah,
But Framber you want in there as well. Very interested. I'm just more curious to see how these two teams line up their pitching is a little mysterious to me. A's fans and Astros fans may know, but I don't think they really knew in the wild card how it was going to go. Whereas the next series we're going to do, it's very clear cut. So
Yeah, I see Patrick Corbin, who I think would be a nice comp for McCullers in this series. He, in the CS last year, he came in for game 2 because I think that was his throw day, and he started game 4. I could see them doing something like that with McCullers.
So what if McCullers piggybacks Greinke in 1?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Framber gets 2, or Kitty Javier get 3, and then McCullers gets 4.
You could see something like that. And yeah, I think it's going to be how much of that Astros bullpen do they get and how do they look? I mean, they are very young. There is some talent down there. But that's kind of why I like Oakland in this series, where these 5-game sets that are back to back to back.
1 minute.
Houston is going to try to do some sort of funny business with their pitching. It worked really well in the wild card against the Twins. Will it work as well? But Oakland has a bunch of guys in their bullpen they believe in. And again, they're starters. Like, they're not dominant guys, but there are a lot of guys that I like going 5 or 6 innings to give you an okay start.
You got 30 seconds, Trev. You got anything else on this in this series?
Go A's. I think everyone's an A's fan. It's one of those things, man. There ain't nobody rooting for the Astros except for people in Houston.
I do
Especially
like
after Carlos Correa came out and said more stupid shit.
I do like Greinke, and I am kind of rooting for Dusty because he
I like Dusty too.
Yeah.
And Greinke. I mean, there's guys in there that don't deserve to be chastised, but like Carlos Correa is making it a problem for them.
He's become the face of hate, which is like a weird, like on purpose.
Why?
I'm Carlos Correa. I'm the face of hate. I don't know.
Rooting for funny business from Dusty.
Funny bit. Like I want Dusty to be like, I have a plan.
I hate that Dusty can't have his toothpick in his dang mask.
That's messed up.
You think he's got a little one, just like a little toothpick?
He's got a hammer.
Series number 2, Cron Pod ALDS, is the New York Yankees versus the Tampa Bay Rays out in San Diego. 8 o'clock start times. 5 o'clock for the players. 8 o'clock for us over here. This is going to be a wild one. The Rays won 7 of 3 during the regular season.
8-2.
8-2.
Astros. I want to say Oakland took 7 of 3 from the Astros.
Okay.
Yes.
Rays fans are a confident bunch for a reason. They crush you with matchups, and they crush you with their pitching. The Yankees will have a lot to handle. It's going to be interesting because, you know, the Yankees were going up against quote-unquote top-tier pitching in the Indians, but I believe 70% of the pitchers they saw were, like, never in the postseason before or not as established. That's not the story with the Rays here. You got really good arms. I'm guessing it's going to be Snell versus Cole, game 1. I would switch that, but I don't know if they will. Glasnow versus Tanaka in game 2. Morton versus Happ in game 3. And then Kitchen Sink versus Kitchen Sink in game, and then Davey, and is it going to be Yarbrough?
I don't know. I think the Rays probably get ugly with it because they can.
Yeah.
It might depend how their bullpen's being used. They have pitching options. And so let's start there. The Rays did dominate the Yankees this season, 8-2. A lot of back and forth, horses who throw 98. The Rays were on one, and they deserved to be. They dominated the Yankees. That being said, it wasn't the full throttle Yankees for a lot of the year. A lot of injuries, a lot of things going on, and the Yankees showed, and kind of despite our full beliefs, that they can turn it on. And when you see someone like Gleyber Torres hitting 7th, you forget what that really means. Giancarlo Stanton hitting 5. Gary Sanchez hitting 9. If he's right, we will see. But yeah, man, I mean, this is exciting. I think I'll go into some Yankee fears. Garrett Cole, the Rays are the one team that have given Garrett Cole a lot of trouble. So, you know, game 1 of this series, he can either squash that bug and you've quelched that. That's going to be the whole theme of this series. Can you know, the Rays dominated them. The Rays kind of are the anti-Garrett Cole. Can the Yankees put that all on its head? Are the Rays going to be sitting there like, wait, we had this dominant season, and now here we are in a 5-game set in San Diego, and the Yanks are busting on us, and our season could be over? Or are the Rays just a goddamn better team, which they might be? And, you know, they can pitch from every way. They play every matchup. You know, those lineups on paper are going to look so different, but don't let them in your head because all of these guys have crazy splits. What the Rays do to left-handed pitching is disgusting. So interested to find out. I don't know. Again, me and Jimmy are going to be we are going to believe in our Yanks, but we know this Rays team can be awesome. It's what does the lineup be pesky as it always is, or does that lineup kind of, I don't know, crumble a little bit against the Yankees' best pitching?
I mean, the Yankees have one pitcher
Hey.
that they're afraid of. I'm serious. I'm just laying that out there. Like, they're afraid of Cole, as you should be.
Well, Tanaka
After that,
crushes the Rays. mean,
I don't
that's
think they're afraid of Tanaka. He doesn't put off that vibe that you're going to go into a series and be like, fuck, we're facing Tanaka. Just doesn't. I know the numbers. It's just that Cole can overpower you and dominate you, and I guess any pitcher can on any given day, but he's the one that has the best chance of doing it. So you just got to get past Cole. If you can win the Cole game, it's going to be a long series or a short series, I should say, for the Yankees.
yeah. I mean, that's
But
totally
this is
fair.
baseball, man. This is baseball. Like,
I mean, like as third party, I mean the Rays pitching is far superior. Like they have 3 really deep starting pitchers. Their lineup wins because of matchups, not because of overall skill, which is interesting. But their bullpen is amazing. As Yankees biased view, which we're going to do on Talkin' Yanks, Snell doesn't scare me as much as he should. Glass now scares me a whole ton. Morton doesn't scare me at all. So that's like Yankee bias, and Toronto and Tampa Bay fans, like if that upsets you, that's fair. I don't care. I know those guys are good. I've just seen the Yankees get to them.
And Trev, I know we
times.
hit you with a lot of Tanaka love because we also think he's a beautiful man. But last year against Tampa, 28 innings, 4 starts, a 1.59 ERA. He really dropped it against them. So that's why with the playoff numbers and against did he start against them this year?
Yeah, he went 5 innings pitched, 0 earned runs once, and they took him out because he was building up arm strength. Wait, hold on. I think they got to him once, but I think they got to him one game. They got 5 earned runs on him.
So
I mean, I agree. You look at the lineups on paper, like, okay, the Yankees have absolute monsters there. And then the Rays, yeah, they don't have anybody, the big names or somebody that looks like Aaron Judge. I guess they do have Yandy Diaz. But, you know, like you look at the lineups, you're like, okay, that's advantage Yankees 100%. But the Rays, like you said, they exploit the matchups. They're going to play great defense, which the Yankees have been playing. They play good defense besides Gary.
Well, worst defense in the league this year, but they were worst defense.
They
in all
have the
of MLB.
guys to play
Never
solid
mind.
defense. They have.
I thought there's some good defenders.
They
out there,
do,
like DJ
but
and
they just
Judge.
Urshela, DJ, Judge.
They were bad in the regular season.
Hicks rated poorly this year. They didn't treat the regular season like it mattered, and that's why we were
Yeah.
kind of sad puppy dogging it, and they turned it on. Make the plays you're supposed to make. Trevor, the chat brings up something that I'll kick to you because I think it would be me and Jimmy guessing a little more than you.
4 minutes.
Is they're playing these at Petco, which we just talked about this. There were some balls that should have left the park yesterday. I mean, the Rays' strength is clearly their pitching. Does that favor the Rays? Like, I mean, you're almost adding a power up to their pitching. Does that favor the Yanks, where their strength might not be their pitching, but they have these big guys that, when Giancarlo Stanton gets one, it leaves any stadium in the world. So I don't know. Do you have a lean on that? Is it we're going to find out, or?
I talked about that before. I think that's obviously their team. The Yankees are set up to take advantage of Yankee Stadium, go the opposite way with those home runs. You see Stanton and Judge do it all the time. Are those balls going to leave in San Diego? Like, probably. The balls are juiced. Those guys are huge. But yeah, every once in a while, man, you're going to get that ball they think they're going to get. We saw it a couple times yesterday with the Cardinals. And that's a big thing for either offense, to be honest with you. I mean, it's the game of baseball now. Like, the home runs that should be home runs and aren't, that changes everything. The home runs that shouldn't be and end up being home runs, that changes everything. So if you're the Rays, you've got to limit the amount of multiple base runners on and home runs. The 3-run homer will kill the Rays. They really have to avoid that.
Yeah, for anyone that likes park factor stats, Petco was the 3rd highest in run suppressing parks. Giants, Marlins, Padres, whatever the hell that means. So, and Homer amplifying, not there. Homer suppressing, Petco Park was 5th home run suppressing stats. The Yankees are built for Yankee Stadium. Voit hits homers to right. Judge hits homers to right. Stan hits homers anywhere. It doesn't matter. Glaber flicks them to right a lot. They can all hit them anywhere, but their swings, the Yankees look for guys who see the ball really deep and use opposite field for that reason. So it is a factor. I do think it hurts the Yankees more than the Rays, who kind of, a big park probably helps them more, the way they pitch and play.
They play outfield D.
I also think the Rays have the bullpen advantage. They have just more arms and more matchups. The Yankees, we saw this trouble them against Cleveland. The Yankees' bullpen depth, while the top three are really, really good, they don't have anyone more than that. So if they can knock Tank out in the third inning, in the fourth inning, if they can knock Cole out in the fifth, it's 5 games in a row. That's my biggest scare as a Yankee fan, and that's what I've been saying all year. I don't think the Yankees can make it through this DS and CS slog with such a weak back-end bullpen. It'd be nice if we had a fifth starter that we could go put out there, but our fifth starter is Montgomery, and he doesn't translate to that. Yeah. So that's where I think the Rays have the advantage on both sides of the pitching, but the Yankees' offense is way better. And the Rays, they crushed the Yankees during the regular season. Glasnow breezed through them. The lineups they were seeing then, I mean, it's not even.
It's a different.
And I don't know what the Tampa Bay lineups that the Yankees saw was, but you had Mike Ford in the 3-hole, Clint Frazier in the 4-hole. Those guys aren't part of this roster. You had Talkman. You had Jordy Mercer. You had Tyler Wade batting.
Oh, Jordy Mercer.
Oh, they were ugly lineups when they were playing. Talkman hit 3.
Dealt with a lot of injuries, but obviously to the lineup, it was more on the Yankees side. There.
It was the Rays pitching, and the
Rays pitching was what they did.
I know this scares Jimmy a little bit. I think the Rays called up one of their top prospects. We've seen a lot of teams doing this. He's a pitcher. You wonder if they put him in an interesting spot. We saw White Sox go to Crochet early. Yanks might call Clark Schmidt up, and it kind of ties into that bullpen. You're going to see the Yankees putting some pitchers in spots.
Where has Clark Schmidt been? That was your guy.
He's been around.
I totally disagree with Jake's thought process that he's going to be a part of this series.
What was his thing? I do X break or whatever the hell.
I'm an X break guy.
I just think you're going to see some Yankees pitchers in positions they haven't seen. And like you're saying, each series has a rhythm, and it's like, okay, yeah, Cole should get 1, Glasnow should get 2. Don't be surprised if that gets reversed, because that's how baseball works sometimes. And hey, everything you said about Petco, Happ and Davy Garcia would be 3 and 4. Happ sure would love pitching at Petco instead of Yankee Stadium, and probably so would the young rook Davy. So it's going to be a great series, obviously taking the Yanks because we love them.
NLDS.
I'm taking the Rays. Just throwing that out there.
I am guessing the NLDS Game 1 series is going to be the Braves and Marlins due to time zones and prime time and all of that. So Braves and Marlins it is. They face off. Another division rival. I mean, I think it's really cool that we're going to get an East Coast versus West Coast World Series because we're going to get East Coast versus West Coast Championship Series.
Yes.
Championship Series. So it's really cool that we have division rivals going against each other. The Braves and the Marlins are facing off. I mean, I wonder it's going to be Alcantara and Sixto as the 1-2 again. Can they do that? Did the rain delay mess that up?
Maybe they have Pablo Lopez, who is their other guy. You could start him for 1. Maybe they got options.
Did the rain delay mess that up? So today's the first off day, then Sunday. No, because they have the extra day for the NL anyway, so no. And then for the Braves, it's Fried. He's got to be your 1, so you can get 2 games out of him. And then Ian Anderson. And I wonder if the game goes 4, if this goes to a 4th game, I wonder what happens with the pitching.
Trev?
You got any thoughts on this?
Goes to the 4th
We're
game?
just on the whole series. That's the
whole series. What do you got?
As far as the pitching, I mean, those no off days change everything. I mean, bringing a guy to pitch 1 and 4 is just never going to happen. Unless I guess you're Trevor Bauer and he just wants to do that, but they're not going to do that with Max Fried. So yeah, I mean, you just got to either have that 4th starter or have your bullpen ready to do it. 2 guys, 3 guys, whatever it is. But as far as the series, I don't know, man. I've written the Braves off all year and all they do is win. And I haven't even talked about the Marlins ever because they're bottom feeders. I think I coined that phrase. But I think this is baseball. I said if the Marlins go hit some homers in Wrigley, they could win the series, and that's exactly what they did. Hit some timely homers, shut them down with their pitching. I don't know if you're going to be able to I mean, I think the Braves are going to score runs because they can hit, man. And then they have these guys coming up. Their starting pitching's been incredible. It's hard to bet against the Braves right now, in my mind. But then you have the storybook aspect of the Marlins, like they're the Cinderella team, if you will. They don't like being called that, or maybe they really do like being called that because it's been their war cry, the bottom feeders thing. We sell a shirt that the last time they played, they got beat by like a football score. So maybe they're going to have that shirt in the dugout too. And be like, remember that? Remember Jomboy when you put that stupid shirt out?
Let's send the Marlins that shirt.
But hey, we made fun of you guys too.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I just, if you're asking me my prediction on the series, I'm going to take the Braves. But I didn't have either of these teams advancing. So what do I know?
Jimmer?
I like looking at the splits. I know that's usually your thing, Jake, but Miggy Rojas crushes lefties. Garrett Cooper crushes lefties. Aguilar crushes lefties. And Fried's a lefty. Fried's really, really good. Different breed of lefty. But that's kind of, I was just seeing if they matched up well against them. And that's kind of fun. What's right? Kyle Wright. He's a righty. Okay.
He's a righty.
Because he's going to be the 3, right?
We think so. Don't know if they've got any funny business up their sleeve, but yeah.
I don't know. What do you got?
All right.
I feel like you didn't do your turn.
No, I'm just letting you go before me.
Oh, I went at the beginning.
You introed it. You didn't really give your
takes. Want me to go again? Just keep
talking?
talking?
No, I mean, on paper, I mean, it looks so much Braves. I mean, it's Acuna, it's Freddie, it's Albies, it's Ozuna. I mean, young, thick Austin Riley, Duvall, all these guys the Braves have raked all year. The Marlins, they got the fun lineup. They got the fun team. It's them against the world. You got to love it. For me, I'm a sucker for names, baby, and the Braves just have too many of them, and their bullpens looked really good. And, Ian Anderson deserves love at this point. He had a really good regular season. He had a really good postseason start. The Marlins' strength is their pitching. They have those young 3 at the top, and they got a bullpen that could piece it together. That being said, this Braves team has seen those guys, and the more you see them, the more that goes to the hitters. I think you might see a lot of hitting in this series, and I think that's bad news for the Marlins because the Braves can out-hit them. I don't know. If the Marlins do it, it's going to be a fun brand of baseball with some good pitching and taking extra bases and all of it. You got to take the Braves. They're in Houston, right? And I think that's so, yeah. That's a pretty good hitter's ballpark, which again, I think that favors the Braves. Yet, game 1 when Garrett Cooper puts one over that short fence and right, we'll be saying the Marlins. So I don't know, man. You have to pick the Braves essentially.
Is it
wrong to say the Marlins are Rays light if Alcantara and Sixto and Pablo give you decent starts because of their offensive strategy? This is big bombers and sketchy pitching versus young pitching and scrappy offense.
They're a lot more scrappy than the Rays. Like the Rays splits are like massive OPS. Mike Brasso and Randy Arozarena turn into MVP plus players where the Marlins are gonna
live and die with their starting pitching.
Yeah. Which could be great, but you gotta go Braves. Sorry, Fish. Prove us wrong. Have fun.
Well, I like how good Ian Anderson looked, but the Reds looked so bad offensively that I don't know how good Ian Anderson actually looked. They were awful.
I think the offense of the Marlins might be exposed here over a longer set. Not exposed, but trying to keep up with the Braves.
Yeah.
Is a tall task, This is a Braves lineup that, was 5th in the league in OPS plus. The Marlins were below average in that category. Can you do it in the postseason and have that timely hitting? Yes, they did it against the Cubs. I think the longer the series go, it favors, the team like the Braves more. So this 5-game set, the 3-game series, they kind of shocked the world. Now it's like, okay, let's settle in and play a 5-game set and see where you're really at. I'm rooting for the Fish, man. It's a fun story. I got some buddies on the team. But yeah, when you just look at it, you sit down and look at the stats, the names, the pitching. It's hard to pick. It's just impossible for me to just be like, okay, they're going to beat the Braves.
And we've done this a few times now, but Sixto Sanchez, his first start against Atlanta, 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 6 Ks. His second start at Atlanta, 3 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, only 2 Ks. So
that's adjustment time for him because they adjusted to him, and he's got to adjust back.
yeah. Which Sixto are you getting?
Miami below average in ERA plus and OPS plus during the season. But here they are. That's baseball, man.
Yeah. Is the bottom going to drop out or no?
I think it's crazy that the Braves got a 7-inning start from Fried and a 6-inning start from Anderson and still used like 9 innings of their bullpen, and their bullpen was really, really good, or the Reds really, really suck. But they did really good. You can't really take anything away from them. They got the outs they needed
in
to get.
high leverage spots.
In really high leverage spots. Like their bullpen got put through the ringer, and they didn't even have a 2-inning start, which I think is a plus for the Braves. They got that out of the way. And I hope that, their offense came alive late in that series against the Reds. They faced some really good pitching. The pitching isn't going to be as polished that they face against the Marlins. So I like the Braves here. I like what I saw in Anderson. But I'm rooting for both teams. I don't care. Rooting for Game 5 here.
You can't find a team stat that the Marlins are good in. They're all. I'm just doing it now. I mean, like any kind of stat you're looking at, OPS, Braves are first in the whole dang baseball with an 832 team OPS. Miami sitting with a 703. Excuse me. OPS, FIP, WHIP. Everything you can think of, they're all bad. But it's baseball.
Baseball and their fun story. All right. I think that's it for that one.
Finalmente.
The final set is the primetime series. It's the Dodgers versus the Padres. And this one is going to be really, really, really hard to dissect until we know what's happening with Dinelson Lamet and Clevenger. And I'll be very blunt. If those guys aren't part of the plan, I'm taking the Dodgers. If those guys are part of the plan, I'll let you guys win me over or lose me, because that's a much more fun series. And then it's, what do you get out of them? Do you get just one time through the order, then to the bullpen? Because even that the Padres can use. I know their bullpen's great, but they just went 3 games in a row using, I think they used 4 pitchers every single game, all 3 games. So it's crazy. But they do have like the whole city going nuts. San Diego's going nuts. They got a lot of momentum. They got a lot of swagger, a lot of fun.
Scoop.
It all depends on those 2 starting pitchers. I wish we knew. Wish we knew when we could have this conversation.
I'm looking at the team stats again. It's funny to do that now with the Dodgers because they're at the top of every damn stat you can think of. ERA plus, tops. FIP, 3rd in the league. WHIP, tops. Go to the offensive side. OPS, 821, right behind the Braves. They are, actually, this is a funny little stat right here. OPS plus, they're right behind the Mets, who led all of baseball in OPS plus. But they're at the top. And you know what's funny? San Diego's right behind them in all the team stats. And I do agree with you, Jim. Clev, Lamet, big names to watch here if they're in. That's the only, in my opinion.
It's a completely different series.
The only way they can get past this juggernaut of a team is if they have those guys.
It's going to be,
or at least one of them.
Is it going to be, well, for the Dodgers, Buehler, because they can now go Kershaw 1 and 5 if they wanted. I think they wanted their best pitcher game 2. I think if they want one starter to go 1 and 5, they want it to be Kershaw.
I think they still believe in Buehler.
They want Buehler, yeah.
But then you're eliminating Kershaw from going twice.
Yeah.
And he's your best pitcher this season, and he just looked amazing. I'd go Kershaw 1.
I think that's a heavily right-handed lineup, and I don't know are Kershaw's platoon splits oppo, but I would lean Buehler if I was Roberts.
Yeah, and you have Kershaw out of the pen in Game 5. That's worked.
He looked great.
He looked great.
I mean, I'd take Kershaw on regular rest twice over anything else.
Over your guy, Walker Buehler, the Moxie King, the young playoff monster?
He hasn't been that this season.
What did he do in his start this postseason?
He didn't strike out 13.
Yeah. Kershaw did see the Padres, 6.13 earned runs. That was in San Diego. Yeah, I don't know. Either way, it's kind of a good flip of the coin, right? If you're going Kershaw or Buehler. Yeah.
Choice.
First world problems there. I'm going Dodgers. I'm going Big Brother. I think this is the start of a rivalry, right? I mean, the Padres are here. This was their announcement to the world. We're talking about that Padres celebration, and it's good and it's fun. You know, the Dodgers are laughing at that. They don't care at all.
The most drastic two different reactions to winning the wild card series, and both reactions are fair for their respective team, in my opinion. But yeah, for the Dodgers, I mean, I was bouncing around some Dodgers boards, and we have Dodgers friends and people that we talk to, and a lot of them like aren't even giving Kershaw credit. Like I posted the breakdown on Kershaw, and even Dodgers fans are like, "Well, who cares? Wild card game against a terrible Brewers lineup, like that doesn't mean shit."
That was a bad Brewers lineup.
Bad. It's really bad. So I love where the respective fan base are at mentally going into this. Like for one, this is kind of the World Series if the Padres beat the Dodgers here. And for the other, this is just another like very small first step.
Yeah, and they played a series late in the year that was the whole, are the Padres going to get, like, actually have a chance at the NL West? And the Dodgers gave them a little bit of the Big Brother treatment. The only part that does scare me is, like, it's kind of what we've said about some of the teams that haven't done it yet, and it's like you got to see it to believe it, like the Twins. We need to see it to believe it. The Dodgers bullpen, like, I got to see it to believe it. And, man, could you imagine if in a Walker game or a Kershaw game that Dodgers pen comes out with a 2-3 lead and they go all slam Diego on them? I mean, that's going to feel impactful. So I guess I'm watching for that because I think that could change the tone of the whole series if that Dodgers strength of a bullpen goes to a weakness with one game. I'm going Dodgers still. I think the Padres' time is coming. I think the Dodgers are laughing at, the streets of San Diego filling up for a wild card win. And I think they go Big Brother and that they show them that they're still there. But this is the start of it. And again, I'd have to think a lot more if Lamet and Clev were going to be full strength.
Yeah, it changes everything.
The way I play turkey math in my head is like, okay, I'll factor in one of them. I'll say Lamet's been in a better timeline that they can get a game from him. But still, that's still Dodgers for me. I mean, the guys in that lineup, like they might come out and flex and be like, this is what we've been waiting for all year. They're so good.
I'm looking at the times that Kershaw and Buehler faced San Diego this year. They both faced him once. Buehler early on, August 3rd, and he went 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Guess how they scored all the runs? Homers.
Show me your Tatis.
Kershaw, September 14th, went into San Diego, 6 inning pitch, 3 earned runs, 9 Ks. So a better start from Kershaw there. I don't know what they're going to do. I agree with you, Jim. He's been better all season. But Buehler started game 1.
Yeah, but I think he started game 1 because they wanted their best pitcher game 2. And you want your best pitcher
I think
twice.
they started Buehler 1 last year, though, too.
He did start
He
Buehler
was their best pitcher last
year.
year.
It'll be interesting to see.
I think they don't care about the 60-game sample size that much.
Well, the way they used Buehler was like weird all year.
Yeah, it's
It
true.
was weird all year.
It's very true.
Kershaw's been going deep into games all year, or getting his pitch count up there at least, and Buehler really hasn't.
Kershaw's been really, really, really good.
Yeah.
And he just
Dude,
was really,
guys-
really good. So
Look at his baseball reference page, and there's a lot of black, bold.
A lot of bold italics.
anything else? I mean, the bats for the Dodgers, the bats for Padres. Defense for the Padres is, you got to tighten that up. I mean, that was ugly.
Big time.
Dude, I'm looking at Kershaw's baseball reference page. Sorry. It's ridiculous, dude.
How many errors did the Padres make? I guess were some not counted as errors because they were more mental.
Fielder's choice type stuff.
It was bad.
What do you got, BBD? You're looking hot over there.
Just in that Bueller game against the Padres this year, Tatis and Grisham and Myers all homered, and those two of those guys are the ones you're worried about.
The big
Lefty righty stuff. It's like, I don't know.
Padres made 3 errors in 3 games, but I think there was more mistakes.
And I think the other thing I said it about the Dodgers. Hey, this Padres bullpen got used a lot to survive a 3-game set. Again, the longer the series goes, the more you have to use that bullpen. The advantage starts going to the Dodgers again. So the more I think about it, the more and more I start leaning Dodgers. Oh, and because they were they might be one of the best teams ever.
Ever.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
They were, and then they added Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Who was a difference maker against the Brewers, and is a difference maker all the time.
Always.
It's gonna, yeah. We got to see Belly get going. Similar thing happened last playoffs, right? He got a hit late in the World Series, or was that 2 years ago?
Belly got a hit that was part of the rally that took the lead in Game 2 off of Woodruff. When did they? What this season?
When did they win the World Series? The Astros.
2017.
Yeah.
Is that what I was thinking of? That was that long ago, and I was looking at Belly struggling in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, he's struggled kind of every playoffs.
Yeah, I mean he struggled last year too.
What's funny is that they don't even care. They're like, okay, we have so many other good hitters in our lineup.
And in 18, he really struggled.
Catch the ball when it's hit to you, Bellinger.
And in 17, 17's his best postseason. 18 and 19 have been worse. In 18, they went to the World Series again, so it's a lot again. So
I just remember the time I'm thinking about it was he was in Houston and hit a double, and it was he was so relieved because he hadn't gotten a hit.
Yeah, he had one game. Game 4 of the World Series. He got his first hit in the World Series, and he went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles. So I'm guessing that was it because he hadn't got a hit all World Series. So that's what you're remembering.
Yeah. Let me say this. Non-baseball talk about this series. The color scheme's perfect. This is one of my favorite matchups. Dodger blue, that ugly brown and yellow. Give it to me. I think it's perfect. Can't wait to watch it.
Demoralizing, I mentioned the bullpen. The guy who's also attached to that, Dave Roberts. Dave, if you do something stupid, that's going to change the whole tone of this series. So don't.
What's interesting is
people in LA think that Dave is not equipped to handle a bullpen.
He might not be. He hasn't proven he is.
Someone in the Bronx also thinks that. It's me, Trev.
In the Bronx.
It's me. Belly, I'm looking at it now because you have it up. Until the Astros in the World Series in 2017, he was really good in the divisional series in the CS in 2017. He started off his first 8 playoff games. He had an 816 OPS with a hit in almost every game. But since then, it's 30 games of really bad.
He always looks tired. He's
I think that's just his face. I think he's people say I always look high.
He's got a little bit of stoner face.
He gets
going
that same
on.
thing.
Big stoner face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does look. Yeah, that's cool. Him and Cole Tucker, friends.
Love Kotak.
We love Kotak. Yeah.
We're good. That's it. The pregame shows will be out. They will be live every day. You can watch along on YouTube. You can watch on Periscope, Facebook, and you can listen to them afterwards when we post them on the Talkin Baseball pregame show. So check those out. We have a lot of fun, and we go a little deeper into every game and each matchup, make our homer picks. We make our official picks for the game and our over-under pick. We're all above 500 or 500 right now, so good job by us. Trev, you're 500 exactly. So it's risky first pick on Monday.
Okay.
And you're automatically picking the Rays, and we're automatically picking the Yankees. So,
well, hold on now. You'll have to watch the show to find out.
Oh yeah. No spoilers.
I could pick the Yankees game 1.
Yeah.
Trev loves call.
I didn't say the Rays are going to sweep the Yankees.
I thought you said Rays in 2 nonstop.
Rays in 2.
Snell's got stoner eyes a little bit.
He's got
and not a stoner. I know that firsthand.
Lame-o.
What, you try to pass him a blunt and he spit it in your face? Said I'm a professional athlete.
I mean,
Pre-COVID.
like not exactly that, but yeah, like similar story. Yeah,
All right, cool. See you guys.
I partake. I'm cool.
Oh yeah. Responsibly. You're your dad, you know.
Sometimes not.
Jake sucks.
Playoffs.